Yo, can you hear me? You listening to
WAW. What a week.
Hey, Ta, welcome to another edition of Wow, What a Week. The man we're hanging out with today was once a kid in a blazer, on his way to school, via my radio show at 5 in the morning, lace a couple of jingles together, get to school. He's a man now, and he joins us next.
This is Wow! What a week. What a week. Celebrity guest. Celebrity guest.
Our guest is in the building. From ripping mics apart with hip-hop bars to writing Amapiano beats like a lyrical shapeshifter. The gent in the building today, I've been a fan of his since he was a kid. He's been in my life for probably the last 23 years now. And he still kicks ass. Guys, you don't do this like it's a walk in the park. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, hip-hop, and tears. Sizwe is in the building, and then after this intro, he'll decide how I address him. Because right now, I don't know. I feel like I'm with a box of chocolates. Is it Reason? Is it Sizwe Alakine?
You chose the feel safe, though. Let me just say Sizwe. I don't know who's here.
Who is here?
Yeah, Sizwe. Yeah. For you, it always is Sizwe.
Why are you Sizwe? You are Sizwe.
Who said I'm Sizwe?
You are Sizwe.
I am not Sizwe. I am Reason.
What is the reason? How are you doing, my dude?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I've known you for 23 years.
23 years.
You were a baby.
I was a teenager. I want to hold that.
No, but you were a baby. Like you know what it is? I think because nowadays children are almost mollycoddled.
Right.
That your average 12-year-old couldn't even get into a taxi and get home.
Right.
Either getting kidnapped or getting lost because they don't know where the hell they're going. At the time you were coming to YFM to record jingles in studio with Proverb for our radio show, you were a child going to school. Let's go through that era quick before we get into the now.
Damn, I don't even know. You know what's crazy about that?
Yes, sir.
I think I should do this. I actually wrote you a letter.
When?
About that era.
Are you for real?
I actually wrote you a letter.
Oh, wow.
And I think just because we're starting the conversation there, I should probably get this out the way.
Okay.
I think you want to hear this. So it says, DJ Fresh. On the winter of 2003, me, Stethoscope, showed up at the lobby of YFM with no plan, no meeting, and no interview. All we had was a demo, my dreams, and hope. Looking back now, you and Proverb had no business listening to a 16-year-old underground battle rapper that had just bunked school just to play you a tape full of angry punchlines aimed at anything commercial. But you guys did it anyway. You listened. Not only did you listen, but you believed in me, you guided me, embraced me, and you ushered me into an industry as my big brothers. I mean, damn. You guys even got Mpoma Boy to be my date at a matric dance that I never made it to because I was at a double HP launch party trying to get on stage. And now I sit here with a legacy of great music and plenty of fans that still listen to my work, all because you listened first. And so I wrote this letter to thank you for listening to my music. I still don't know what possessed you to give me a chance, but you did. And it made me everything I am.
Yo.
Thank you.
Hashtag how to make the host cry before the interview.
Before the host makes you cry. I seen you make niggas cry out here.
Yo. Thanks for the letter, my dude.
Thank you, bro.
I would have preferred cash or a song.
Yeah, well.
Like a briefcase of...
I wrote that from the heart. I wrote that from the heart.
I prefer banknotes from the heart of a bank vault, but I hear you.
I got you.
My dude, my why in my entire career has been that. If I can open a door and walk through it, I'm walking in with everyone.
Yeah.
That's been my why.
I am testimony to that because, I mean, there's a lot of doors that I walk through because of you, with you. At some point, I was carrying your bags when we were going to like Huzu.
Yeah.
And that was like almost, because I remember at the time, in fact, what explained my that era was I just wanted to learn. I really wanted to understand, you know, how Bow Wow ended up on TV.
Yes.
You know, how Proverb ended up on TV. How Zubs ended up on TV, you know, and how this machine worked, or how people ended up on radio and, you know, and performing and becoming musicians, you know. And like I said, I just had hopes and dreams, you know, and you guys actually just, y'all were cool. Like, y'all were some cool khutmans and OGs. Because like you said, like I was a kid in high school and I don't know, I must have been really dope or something. But like, you know, you guys literally opened like plenty doors.
Yeah.
You know, those jingles really gave me, you know, representation. They gave me a voice, and, you know, I was allowed to say whatever I want. And I was saying some of the most debaucherous things any 16, 17-year-old could say on radio.
I often listen back to some of the things we said on the radio back in 2003. And a part of me is like, how did we get away with that? I was listening to the battle between Pro Kid and Kato. And I'm like, geez, like there's a ton gay references here that would get you cancelled today.
And you put it on radio.
And no one complained. In
fact, I even remember that particular battle. Yeah. Like, I remember how everybody woke up that morning and waited for that battle to hear it, you know? And it's like, but that was, you put a battle on radio.
Yeah.
You know, like that type of battle. I mean, and there was always like, you know, like Bad Boy Tilly and Sansa and all that. But like, yo, those are like the commercial guys. Like, actually, you were like, yo, you guys got smoke? Yeah. Come sort it out in studio, you know?
Yeah.
That's a door opening move for me as well, because that's the type of stuff that made me believe like, oh, so even me, this underground rapper guy, I can be like Pro Kid.
I can walk through the door too.
You know? And that was breakfast, you know? So that wasn't no joke.
Now, before we jump into our chat, we normally do an icebreaker. It's literally rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You're not allowed to think too hard about it.
Damn. I was getting into trouble.
Who's wilder, Reason or Sizwe Alakine?
Sizwe Alakine.
Freestyle or written verse?
Written.
Sober bars or studio with a little something?
Oof. Just weed. Just weed. Something can be something else for other people.
Kabza or Pori?
Ooh.
Sorry.
Pori. Because Pori, Kabza, then Sizwe. Yeah, Pori.
First celeb crush?
Mm-hmm. Oof. I hate to say this, but it might have been Melanie Sutton.
Oh, wow.
Studio mix.
Yeah.
It might have been studio mix, Melanie.
Yeah, you and a whole ton of other teenagers.
Yeah. She was cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
Worst verse you ever wrote, and did you ever drop it, or is it locked up somewhere?
I delete them.
Yeah. Do you remember one of the worst verses you ever wrote? How'd it go? Like, was it like the cat sat on the mat? You're like, fuck that?
No. Like some of the worst verses I wrote. Actually, my earlier Vanek verses, like when I was doing the Vanek thing earlier, like I really did, like I think I was really... Pumasiya Josie, Sfunuboni Koli. Smamilu Mambochi. It's like, nah. Like, I don't want to lie. Yeah, that stuff we needed Questa.
Yeah. Last lie you ever told?
Last lie I ever told.
Or just last lie you told?
But it was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
It was a surprise. Do I have to explain the context of the lie? Because the last lie in itself actually gives the wrong idea.
To whom?
The last lie I told was, let's go to the bedroom and change.
And then what happened? Had to change the sheets.
I think we should go to the bedroom and change. No, I actually had a nice little surprise thing for her with for the anniversary. So,
if you could pick forever, boom bap or Amapiano, like you're gonna die here.
Ooh, that's difficult. Low key, neither.
Yeah,
But right now, Amapiano.
yeah,
Yeah, Amapiano definitely.
yeah. The bread is buttering. So
Yeah. All our hopes and dreams also are coming alive because of this thing, man.
yeah, because sometimes you must go that side so you can come back.
This side. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely piano.
Who do you call when your world is falling apart?
Oof. Depends what time of the year. It depends what's falling apart.
Yeah. So what's the range?
Between my sister, my best friend, my girlfriend.
Who's your best friend?
My boy Dejoy.
Okay. And then your girlfriend's going to ask you, why am I not your best friend? You know?
Well, she is my best friend, but you see, she's my bestie.
You're starting...
There's a best friend and a bestie.
Okay.
That's how you get out of that one, you see.
Your diss track GOAT, locally or globally?
Ooh, Keenan Forbes.
Yeah.
Keenan Forbes.
What's more stressful, live battle or showing up at a podcast angry? I agree, it's funny.
Honestly, neither. If I'm being honest with you. Let's go. Let's go. Brother,
Fuck.
let's get it. Let's get it. Whichever one comes first. I'm down.
If Gigi
Yes.
dropped a track dissing you,
Yes.
you respond.
Honestly, no. I don't want to sleep alone. You know, I know this is funny, but sometimes she be waking up in the middle of the night and drops a bar. And then goes back to sleep. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Like, baby, listen to this.
She'll probably listen to some. She'll remember something I said earlier. So, by the way, you were talking shit. I swear to God.
Do you guys ever argue in bars?
No, she thinks she's so competitive.
Yeah.
So I always have to be like, yo, I'm playing. Because next thing you be like, yeah, yo, mama. I was whoa. It's just a joke. It's like, I'm just joking too. But yeah, it's banter, but it does happen. Yes.
This is not supposed to take this long. Who'd play you in a movie?
Ooh. I've always thought about people I'd love to play in a movie. Never thought about who would play me in a movie.
Who would you play in a movie? Because clearly you are calling yourself right now.
Yo, I won't lie.
Answer the phone.
Yo, I always said, like, if TKZ dropped a movie,
Yeah.
I'd be Tukulo.
Oh, yes.
I'd be Tukulo. Like, Tukulo is Okabelo.
What's your favorite Tukulo verse?
Ooh, all of them.
Yeah.
Which one isn't? I mean, I love Mambochi.
Yes.
Because for me, Mambochi is just, it was like, it was rap, rhythm,
Yes.
this Kwaito thing that sometimes said nothing, but this guy came with this energy. And, you know, somehow Tukulo had this like hip-hop thing about it.
I liken what Tukulo did for Kwaito to what Rakim did for hip-hop.
hectic.
because he came on some, I see you guys, but hold my beer.
Let's take it here.
Rakim did that for hip hop the way Tukulo did for Kwaito.
I always wanted to do that for piano.
Yes.
Myself.
Yes.
Like I always wanted to come with that energy that just says, okay, I hear it, but like
But hold my beer.
hold my phone. You know, but I would have played Tukulo Okabelo in the movie. Maybe even Mendoza in the Mendoza movie, but that happened.
So how would you do the Mendoza voice if you played him in the movie?
Actually, I take it back. Let me just do this. I take bounce within your skill sets. So let me just come back and I think I can do Kabelo. Yeah, banaka wa cover mus. Keteng mo. Ska sinyanako, raspana no. Luna le rata sinyanako. And God is watching.
Love it. What would you say your toxic trait is in relationships?
My toxic traits in relationships.
Like, are you the petty lover? Are you the I don't bury the hatchet lover? Are you argumentative for the fuck of it?
I take long to recover from anger.
So angala.
Yeah, kangala vele. That one I won't lie. And it's almost better. Have you ever
ngalad for so long in your relationship? 4 days later, you don't even remember why. Like, why are we even married?
Yo, nkile ka ngala 2 weeks ka work na le college.
You're lying.
When I know why I'm mad. I'm gonna go buy myself a car. She don't know me.
Yo.
You know what I mean? That was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah, man, and it's crazy that I can actually speak about it because it's actually something I've actually started talking to my partner about.
I was going to say, how does she deal with that part of you?
Yo, we've actually noticed toxic traits that we both have, and we're actively now like going into therapy.
Yes.
You know, before it's like taking on, going to see the doctor before you get sick.
Yes.
That's like the new theory. And it really is more about where it comes from rather than trying to manage it.
Where does it come from?
Yo, now we're gonna get deep.
Yeah, let's be deep, Papa.
Now we're gonna.
That's why we're here. We're not here to play dice. You can do that at the corner.
Not being heard. Not being heard sometimes can actually decide to put you in a place of silence. To say, maybe when I speak, I actually get lost in my words.
Okay.
And growing up,
the battle rapper.
Yeah.
They can diss you about your mother.
Yes,
her
this
shoe
is true.
size.
My brother
of the dome.
And I won't lie, and not to dog my parents or not to my parents did a great job, but I come from a place where once the authority has decided, the authority is decided.
Yes.
And if you press on, you will get dismissed.
Yes.
So it's best if you are met with a certain level of resistance to just walk away and choose silence, and maybe your presence will be felt more when you are not speaking as opposed to,
I'm a strong believer in whatever you went through as a child with your parents. More often than not, they were doing only what they knew at the time.
Right.
With the information they had and the background of how they were raised.
Right.
And often when we look back at it, yes, it wasn't desirable perhaps, or it hurt you, or you still feel like you're an injured adult because the child in you has not healed. But I'm also a believer in cut them a bit of slack. And even better, if you're able to have a conversation with them, do it. Just a conversation about, listen, I'm not even saying apologize, because for a lot of parents, apologies are sometimes a problem. But I believe it's very important for them to know exactly how you feel about how certain things happened.
Right.
Especially where you feel you were not heard.
Right. And it's I'm somehow lucky to have that kind of relationship with my stepdad.
Yes.
Because I was raised by my stepdad. We find ourselves in a place where I feel like we're both at equilibrium. We both have kids.
Yes.
We both have families.
Yeah,
so and my little sister, she's like in her early 20s. She's still in varsity. So my dad is still parenting.
Yes.
And more often than not, we'll have conversations about, the parenting style. Say, hey, look, in this new era. You know, like I'm busy having conversations with my dad about mental health right now. You know, to explain like, yo, if someone comes to you and they say they're depressed, it's not for you to say, hey, umodi mutsu happy. Like,
there's food in the fridge.
Why are you not eating?
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
Come home. Just come home. If you're, you know, just come home. And it's like, yo. So even that, just I'm glad that I'm in that section, you know, in my life. But funny enough, also me, it's made me understand, like, yo, I don't want to lie. I forgive my parents because when I think about my grandparents, I guess our grandparents were hard.
So you understand where the
your grandparents were hard. Yeah, I understand. I mean, I met my grandparents, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, like, I've heard about how they were raised and how your grandmother used to discipline us, how your grandmother used, you know. So that, I won't lie, kind of did create some perspective. Like the people that raised our parents were really not easy. Sometimes I look back and I say, yo, actually, you were trying.
Yeah.
You tried.
Like I said, more often than not, they did what they could with what they had and what they knew. And again, the intentions often were noble.
Right.
Maybe the how was the problem.
Right.
But often the intentions are noble.
Right.
So I think cut them a bit of slack if you're able to. I'm not forcing you to forgive your parents, but if you're able to do it, it'll give you peace. Accept that that's what it was and find your peace.
Okay, time uzwile ke uta fresh ukutshelile ke sesigrand. Ses on mina nawe asinakwani. Uspanile uthiyam.
The one thing about dad that was a lesson you feel you need to instill in your kids is what?
Open conversation.
Mm.
You know, open conversation. Even though the last decision or the final decision always ended with dad, but my dad was a very open conversation type of guy. Because remember, I was walking around the house with my baggy pants, you know, listening to rappers that swear and talk about bitches and some misogyny and a whole bunch of derogatory shit all
Thinking
the
of a
time.
motherfucker in an African parent's home.
You understand? Showing up with my eyes bloodshot and, you know, and hearing my voice on radio and asking, how did that happen? Like,
He hears you on the radio.
Yeah.
When did you record that?
What did you record that? Also, where did you get the money to get there? You
Exactly.
know, open conversation. You know, we've always had an open conversation system. You know, my dad was the type of person where whenever anything was happening in the house, everybody would sit and it would be a conversation and it would be discussed to say, look, you know, whether we're low on money or I'm sick, I can't work, or I don't feel like you guys are pulling your weight. It was always an open conversation. And even though he wouldn't listen, he would say, just tell me how you feel. Yeah. It's okay. You can speak
It's not
freely.
a democracy, but I want to hear your voice.
But I want to hear you out.
Yes.
So I've also tried to have that, you know, especially with everything that goes on in the world that we're in right now.
Yes.
Also being the parent in the industry that I'm in and doing the work that I do and having to always be exposed. You know, I'm not like all the other parents at school, you know, like we get exposed in very different ways, you know, whether it's opinions or whether it's fact or fictional or whatever, but our lives are out there. And those ripple effects really have to foster, you know, open conversations and just open the door and be like, yo, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it, you know.
Absolutely.
I don't have a choice but to, you know, there's a lot of things that happen in my life that report back to her. And there's a lot of things that happen in her life that I need to be a part of. So keeping that going, you know, and, you know, having kids young kind of helped. You know, me and my daughter are like quite close.
I started at 19, I know.
Okay. It helps, dog. I don't know about others. Like, I know it's tough, but like, yo, like it helps. It helps.
I thank my daughter all the time.
Yeah.
That had I not had you at 19, my work ethic would be not what it is. Because I was not going to ask my parents for money.
Yeah.
For my child.
Exactly.
I was not going to ask my parents for money. I was not going to ask anyone for money. So I had to work to make sure that she goes to a good school and she has clothes and she's warm. I did all of that as a child. Because like, I'm not going to ask someone for money when I'm the one who couldn't pull out. Why should it be a problem? I don't know why you're laughing.
Just because I couldn't find a condom. Just because I couldn't find it. now I have to talk to this guy. And for me, it was the same. It was like, yo, I want to prove to them that I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's fine. I know I did this myself. I can do this, you know.
And you know, we laugh and joke about how parents will say to you, how are you depressed? There's food in the house and everything else. That's probably one of the mistakes we made with our son Tato, where because we were providing everything, we didn't realize that we were too busy to give him other attention that he might have needed. So he at some stage was a depressive teen, but we missed it.
Right.
At some stage he was a suicidal depressive teen, but we missed it. But because we figured we're providing. So what's the problem?
So what do you need?
So, and luckily we caught it at a time where we could fix it. We could make amends. And part of making amends is actually apologizing to your child. Part of making amends is admitting that, you know what, we fucked up here. And we see that we fucked up. We want to make it up to you. That's why he can even talk about it openly, because we've spoken about it openly. I'm not going to turn to him and say, why are you airing our dirty laundry in public? You know what I mean? Because it's his journey, it's his reality, and it's his story that he can tell, hoping that it can help another teenager who went through what he was going through at the time. So I always tell him, I'm happy for you to talk about your story. Because if we can save one more teenager, we should fucking do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Me too.
But again, as parents, we need to also take accountability. That listen, we failed you here. You know, and you became this depressed teen because we failed you, but we apologize. We see it. How can we help you walk back to who you ought to be as a teenager?
I actually go through that too.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, aside from the work, raising kids separated from them because they're with their mom and on the other side, and my work, the life. It's very important to hear how they want you to be there for them. Because in your head, you think you're being there for them because you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of. But there's other things that you're not taking care of. So I won't lie.
Like time, just time.
Like time. Yeah. Like time. But, and then there'll be other little things like, just because you have issues with the mom, they filter into issues with, you representing, and they filter into that. And it's like trying to maneuver through that is actually quite a difficult thing. But I think for the purpose of this conversation, it's quite important to somehow always have some sort of open door system to know, because, what's happening here and what's happening in my head and what I'm going for is literally about what's coming from my own head. But I don't know what's going on in theirs. And sometimes I may react, and try and cover, she really wants to go on this trip. I really need to make a plan for this trip. I really need to do this. Oh, she really wants these things, or she really wants to go to this place. I really need to make sure that she gets to this place. But there could be other things that we're missing. So I've always been fond of some sort of open conversation because I somehow, think I want to be the listener. I see how the definite and defining answer and being the rule of law, to a certain degree, it helped in some instances, because there were some times where I wanted things that I didn't even know weren't good for me. I just wanted to go to Sfiso's party because everybody else is going to Sfiso's party.
And you realize later that mom was right. There will be other parties.
There will be. My whole life was a party. There's so many other parties.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, it really doesn't make sense.
You must hate me.
Like, how could you do this to me? Like, Vanessa's gonna be there, dog. Vanessa's gonna be there.
Vanessa wa walk. Vanessa wa magwegwe.
Vanessa. They let me slip with Vanessa, but it's fine. Anyway, but also then there's, I often, what's the reverse for me is the guilt. Then, sometimes I feel like I need to at some point learn also not to let the guilt let your kids get away with a lot of things, because that's another thing. Sometimes we overdo, like, on the gifting or on compensate because I fell short on this one, so let me do a lot on this one, but that also may not necessarily be helping.
My advice, if you're dealing with parental guilt at whatever level, the best thing you can do is intentionally spend more quality time with them. Time with your kids is a bigger gift than any PlayStation will ever be.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've learned.
Okay.
And not even just time with your kids, time with your kids as individuals. Because often we think we're all going to spare, and then we think we're rocking. But your kids are individuals with individual needs. So if you have 3 kids, 3 times a week, make sure you have time with each one of them alone and love them the way they want to be loved. Because often we think, this is the way I love all of you guys. Why is one of you a tragi? Because the way we parent is almost similar to the education system.
Right.
That we're all different animals, but today we're going to test all of the animals on how to climb a tree. Obviously, the monkey will win. But the elephant is like, how? And then me. You know what I mean? And parenting is similar to that. That these are, whether you have 2, 3, or 10 kids, they're all wired differently. They all have different needs. They all have, how do I put it? They all want to be loved differently. And you had all 3 of them at different times of your life. So you were a different person when you had them. So you have to compensate for that also. That when you had your firstborn, you were still hustling. Maybe you didn't have time for them. Maybe you were stricter with them. When you have your thirdborn, you're a different person. Maybe you're more settled in your career. You're more level-headed. So they're going to get a different kind of love. But because we parent lazily, we want to just use one paintbrush and say, all of you get food and love. What else do you want from me? You know what I mean? And I don't think we're intentional enough.
For that one.
I don't think we're intentional enough about
talk.
how we parent, but we pay attention to everything else that we do. You'll spend time on that masters. You will study all night. You'll cross night for your masters. My car needs a service. The car must go for service. But you're not servicing self. You're not servicing your mind. Your kids' relationship is not being serviced. Like, how are we prioritizing shit that doesn't matter in the bigger scheme of things? You know what I mean? So for me, these are things I'm learning as I'm parenting. That as much as I'm busting my back to make sure the lights are on, you still need to spend time with these people.
Yeah, but you need to be in the house when the lights are on.
Exactly. But the time that you are at home with the kids, even if all you have is 1 hour free at home, are you spending it with the kids? Is it quality time? Or are we just all sitting watching TV?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. So I think the sooner we're more intentional with our parenting, or as intentional with our parenting as we are with everything else that we do, that we dedicate time to and money and warranties and getting extended warranty on your M3.
That goes away after 5 years.
But you can't spend an hour with your kids. For me, it's a problem. And then we say the world is fucked. The world is not fucked. The way we're doing things is fucked. If we don't reimagine it or relook at it, then we're the only ones we can blame.
Damn.
That's what I think. I don't know.
Damn.
What do you think about that, Lebo?
About what?
About being an African dad, Lebo?
Yes, that's hectic. But that's real. Yo, that's real. That's a lesson. That's a lesson.
Recently opened up about the loss of your son.
Yes.
Yeah. Care to talk about that loss? And why you opened up about it when you didn't have to?
I think I've always believed that my story helps, or my experiences help other people. There seems to be, this, and if I'm being honest, I've always been a very honest person about my life and about my work. It's the type of writer I've always chosen to be, the type of artist I've always chosen to be, but also the type of, I guess, role model that I've always chosen to be, because I feel like it probably adds value to the way I rationalize things and to the way I see things, to just know a little bit about where I come from, and the value of why it's important for me to even still be here. But, loss is a very, very, especially the loss of a child.
Yes.
But loss is a very, very difficult thing. Loss is a very tough thing. And I often say to people, loss gave me my best verse ever, because I rapped about it, I wrote about it. And
what verse was that for those?
That was the No Sleep remix.
Yes. Give us a sample.
I'm getting a feeling I'm getting addicted to hearing good things about me. My rep is extended to generous measures, even Mutsweding announced me. And some are not even confessed that the heat is our spit, but I'm easy because the season, the game is a circus with many a tricks, but none in the ring can clown me. Sometimes I feel like I'm spitting an ocean of flows and everyone's drowning, surrounded by all of these props around me, like I was Andy Wachowski. I'm thinking, how can they doubt me? They thinking, how can you not sleep? I'm thinking the most I spent on my son was a funeral paid with rhyme schemes.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah. Because people have, funeral schemes. I used rhyme schemes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was it, But that was probably like my greatest work, my greatest moments, Pain as a musician is good,
It can be a catalyst.
to release. Yeah, it's really, I often say to artists, bro, if you're not gonna write about your pain, how are you gonna allow people to sing it out of them? If you can't write about your worst moments, if you can only write about your best,
Yeah.
because when you write about your best moments, everybody, But we got Dear Mama out of pain.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, that's how we got our composure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honesty and sincerity is something that, it's just as humans, I believe music is something that we still need to assist in getting us by. I know there's therapy, I know there's therapists, I know there's psychologists, but just being able to hear like a Juice WRLD crying and saying, damn, I know how that guy feels, and that guy is making me resonate with how I feel. And it just feels better, and it feels better, and it feels better, I've always told artists that we are the one people who cannot be hiding behind the issues or the problems. We actually have to just put it in the music. It's literally our story. It's literally what we're here to help people get through with, Otherwise, then, just make songs for yourself and listen to them in your headphones.
Absolutely.
But if you're going to release material, give us something that'll get us through. Like, it always confused me and it always baffled me, like how an Imitandazo was what it was. It was like a 2-year long hit, but it's just like, if you really think about it, like that's just how everybody feels.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good music, sure.
But it was a ray of light for a lot of people.
It's a ray of light for a lot of people, and your pain can be a ray of light for a lot of people.
It's also a good paycheck.
Trust me. It's a lot of racks, yo. Amanando's work amatumani. If not, Nando's a good pictures. La Kabza. That's kind of.
Yeah, there can be hunger there. How can I? How can I?
So I've become accustomed to doing that.
Yes, sir.
Things I learned from Nas, Jay-Z, Kanye.
Yeah.
All my favorite rappers.
Having a child with cerebral palsy, how does that affect the relationship? I'll tell you why. So, cousin of mine, they had a daughter with cerebral palsy, about 23 years ago. And I watched them having that daughter bring them closer together than ever before. Because she had to stop work because that child needed help 24/7. I watched them become closer and closer. But I also know that some families fall apart because the child has cerebral palsy.
Definitely.
Or is differently abled.
It was tough for me. It was tough for me, especially because me and the mom weren't even getting along.
Yes.
We had issues, so every meeting was
tense,
was violent, intense, and, and for the life of me, I wish I knew now, or I knew then what I know now about CP, because funny enough, my girlfriend's mom is helping in different institutions and organizations that help with CP.
Yes.
And at the time, from when he was born and when we found out, it was like, children with CP don't make it to 9.
Yeah.
Right? Which is also like a twisted mindfuck, because when someone is born and you're told when they're going to die, you're like, the whole time.
Can we talk through the emotions of finding out that our child has CP? Because you have a child and you already have dreams for them.
Yeah.
Already you're imagining running in the park with them, or Antwana, we're going fishing when you're growing up.
Yeah.
When you're all grown up.
I'll be honest, mine was a bit more irresponsible than that. It was like, is it really mine?
Oh,
I was going through that. You know,
for real?
I don't trust you. Is it? You know,
but it's a valid emotion, though,
right?
Because that's what you are. That's how you are dealing with it at the time,
Right.
People might think you're an asshole for even going there, but that's where your mind went.
You know, that's literally like, oh, is it really mine? Is it, you know, because, and that was just throughout the pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then if you know how CP works, it means there was complications in the birth, not enough air went into the brain. So that means something went wrong when she was giving birth. And, you know, when you find that out, compounded with, you know, all the doubts and all the things that were happening leading up to the birth, now it's easy to start blaming, pointing fingers like, this is your fault, like this is, you know what I mean? Like, and at that time I had actually even moved on and actually was starting, you know, to build my way on, you know, and be on a different tangent. So it was very like complicated. I didn't fully comprehend what that meant. You know, and how that goes. But as the child gets older is when it starts to hit you. Like, yo, they don't operate like any other child. You know, they're unable to grow, you know, like any other child. They're unable to be like any other child. And that's very tough to comprehend and still be dealing with, fighting with the family and the tensions around that, and, you know, gaining access. And then there's also you know, the people that you are in a relationship with, the person, them also having to comprehend, you know, how does this child feature as a part of this family? You know, it's very complicated to a point where, you know, when he passed away, the biggest pain was...
How old was he when he passed away?
He was 6.
He was 6, yeah.
And the biggest pain was that. It was like I spent so much time just running around, dealing with emotions, dealing with issues, and fighting with your mom about this. And it's like, yo, I actually wasted time. I had 6 years to actually embrace this life. I had 6 years to actually be there and 6 years to show up.
And you didn't.
And I chose to worry about like what we were talking about, the warranties and the cars and the, you know. That was actually what hit me, you know, but being prepared for the child to pass away, that was something that, you know, you kind of get told when he's born or when he gets diagnosed. You kind of get prepared for that, you know, going to the hospitals, going to do then there's that. Then there's going to the hospitals and dealing with the actual physical training and physio, trying to get a booking because hospitals are just so packed. It's just, it's not easy, you know, but now in the world that we are in now, it's so dope to know that there's actually a lot of institutions and a lot of organizations that literally have people who are trained to allow your child to even grow and be an adult. You know, so there's people out there who, so like you said, like your cousin or your friend, you know, your cousin, his girlfriend now doesn't have to stay at home. There's people who can actually come there, because another thing is people undermine how much the love you guys have helps that person grow. You know, that person,
because kids can still feel the love. Regardless of how
you know,
the CP is.
Exactly. Love is love, you know. And you need to give extra love to kids like that. You need to give to be extra patient and to be extra considerate. And sometimes that creates tension. The fact that, oh, I have to quit working and stay here and do this for us, and then this one says I have to go run and work for both of us. That can...
Hence I say a lot of relationships don't
last,
survive having a child with special needs. And then other relationships thrive even better because they understand that we need to actually, this is a Harambe moment. We need to pull together.
So, I think that my thing about that is I wish I knew now. I knew then what I know now, you know.
What did you learn from that relationship to co-parenting now, that you apply now in your co-parenting?
Yo, literally your kid could die tomorrow. Your kid could die tomorrow.
Don't waste
time. You know, literally what we just spoke about. Like, if you got time, invest time. Like, your kid could go. You know, and you could see it. That's another thing, is also like seeing your kid go. Like seeing your child go from being alive to not being alive. Literally yourself. It's like, oh shit. Is that what happens? Is that how it is? Is that like, yo, that feeling can rush through your body every time you see any one of your kids. Like, yo, I'm glad you're still here, because I know what it's like to for a second to happen and you're not, you know, appreciating life.
What conversations do you have with your girls? What do you guys talk about?
My girls? Well, my oldest, she's always checking me. She's always schooling me, always, you know.
How old is she?
Telling me about, you know, she's 16.
Yeah.
She's always, you know, shouting at me about looking like the kids at school.
Yeah.
Because she goes to an American school, so they're always wearing civis.
Ah, yes.
So I pull up in Tim's and she's like, "Oh, you look like us. You look like Jason." Don't embarrass me. You know what I mean?
I mean, my daughter's 16. And 90% of her wardrobe is my wardrobe.
Oh.
She will rock my Carl Kanai jeans from 25 years.
They back, bro.
She will rock my Sean John shit.
They back.
And I'm like, damn.
Damn, you're rocking it. Yeah, they back. Yeah, she does that all the time.
My Stogie T hoodies, gone.
Oh, hectic.
Guys, don't raise 16-year-olds.
Yeah, and
Send
she
them to grandma.
especially ones that are tall like you. If she's your height, you're screwed. If she's your height, you're screwed.
Absolutely.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. You know, I've always enjoyed time with my oldest child. You know, I mean, she was the first one to make me a dad. So that experience for me, and you know, she came at the right time. I was getting a bit of money. I was in the industry, and I had a lot of fun. You know, with her to accustom her or to get her accustomed to the fact that, you know, my dad is a rapper.
Yes.
Right. So that's
it's okay.
And it's okay. Yeah. Right. I play Bump the Cheese Up. She'd hear the word bitch and she'd look at me and I was like, okay, so let's talk about that.
This is a teachable
bitch
moment.
Is not just a girl. Yeah. There's some guys that can be bitches. And one day you can use that word to describe a guy, but just not today. Yeah. Maybe when you're 18, 20, 21. Wait till I introduce you to the name bitch niggas. But, you know? But, you know, that type of, to a point now where she'll see me and, you know, I'll be wearing high socks and she'll be like, yo, you can't be wearing shorts or high socks. What are you doing? I told you, you know, teaching me about the sandwich. You know, if you're wearing white at the bottom, you must wear white at the top. Yeah. So
I can see. I can see.
Baggy is in. Stop wearing skinny jeans. You're embarrassing me. That's what we had with my, you know. My son is mad about soccer. He's insane about soccer. So my mission with him is to always make it to soccer matches. Yeah. Best thing you could do. Definitely. You know, I've been trying to get myself into that.
Your average parent cannot make soccer matches or even school plays because you're busy hustling for your kids. We get it. But if you are able to do it,
please. Like I've like, he's just more passionate when you're there. He's just more eager to show you his abilities. And the cool thing about my son is he's actually dope. He's actually like a goal scorer.
It's happening.
He's very talented at this. And it's like, you know, go watch your kid. Shaka punchline. You know, so making it to soccer, and it's tough because they play on Sundays at 9 a.m., Saturdays at 5 a.m., and Sundays at 4 a.m. I'm probably walking out of Louis or whatever, but I gotta show up, you know. So that's what I'm getting into now, really building that. The twins are really just trying to find themselves. You know, the twins are trying to find themselves because, you know, they're born in the same day. They are born of the same mom, same time, same everything, but they're really just different people. You know, there's a lot of common things about them. There's a lot of things that are cool about them, but I like this experiment. You know when you go to Papacino's and you make them make the pizzas. The pizzas are never the same. You know, when they write the cards, the cards are always different.
It goes back to what I was saying.
Right, individuals.
Even twins are individuals.
Individuals, right. And that's such a big lesson for me because, I mean, fuck, there's 5 of them. I mean, the last one he's a COVID baby. He's still... I don't know what's going on there. Like, I can't tell you. Like, I can't even. Luna's another mission.
So, Grand, when they pull out, uBra.
Man. Nah, it's like, Kupa, explain that I didn't give a fit. Not good relationship, it's like a catchola, like catchola. Like,
Casper is busy, I feel up. When now busy, Ricky feel it up.
Not that dome. I wasn't filling up that dome. No, not that dome.
You took fill up too literal, man.
But my relationships, my kids come from very big, significant relationships in my life. It's not like I was having kids with...
You're not dabbling.
No. It's like, you know, the first 2 came from marriage, you know, and the twins, I mean, they came at the same time.
Yes.
Cut me some slack.
Okay,
you know, that was a very long-standing relationship. Yes, you know, and I've always known the mother of my last born like for years, you know.
Yeah.
But that's really like I'm a very big, you know, family orientated person, to a point where, you know, even with the relationship now, like if everything goes well and it happens the way I happens, like I eventually really still see myself having like a big family, man. Like I'm a big fan of that. When I go to my grandmother's house and we're all in the house and we're all getting along, and it's just something cool about that. And I know you just talked me out of, you know, doing the mass entertainment thing with the kids and let's all go to Spur.
No, you can all
but now I get
no, you can all go.
Yes, but just
the point
make
I'm making
time.
is family time is important.
Yes,
but individual time is also important.
Individual time is very important. So I've kind of leaned more towards the grouping thing because, you know, I just want them to get along and be with each other in each other's spaces a lot of times, and it's also cheaper. But
you're also, ne?
It's way cheaper.
They don't say cheaper by the dozen for no reason.
Yeah. But I've always been a big fan of that, man. I've always been a big fan of that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going.
Now, obviously, Sizwe Alakine is the guy right now.
Yes, sir.
What has Reason taught him?
Well, Reason is Sizwe Alakine's ghostwriter.
Do they ever argue? It's like, where's my say,
You gotta say this shit. Nah,
dog.
Why? You gotta say this the shit you gotta say.
Yeah.
Everything that Reason wasn't is what Sizwe Alakine is.
Yeah.
You know, Reason came out with this legacy of, or this format of poetry and lyricism and hip hop, and, you know, taking incredible raps and putting them on like commercial records and as much as possible. But Sizwe is just this pure South African concept, you know, that just celebrates everything like Katlehong.
Sure.
You know, I come from Katlehong, I come from Tembisa, like I'm from the hood, and it's everything I am, you know. I mean, piano is Kwaito and house put together, and that's literally my childhood.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I never got to experience certain things, you know, as Reason. I never got to do certain things as Reason because I always felt like, you know, that would be too commercial, or that would be too jiggy, or that would be too, you know, that's too...
I'm selling out.
AKA. I sat out a lot of conversations, you know, behaved a lot, you know, played it safe, you know, too much of a purist. Apologetic, you know, but like with this thing now, it's like, it's whatever.
Let's go.
Show up at a podcast now. Yeah, you understand?
I can hear I'm talking to Caesar right now.
It's what... You know, and I guess that's some of the energy that I kind of got from Pori, man. Like, because when I came in, like, Pori really was, he was like the coach. He was the Castamaro in the ear. He was like, bro, like, there's no time to be thinking about the things that you're thinking about. The world is moving.
How did it happen? Can you take us to that moment where you realize that, oh shit, okay, let's go?
Durban Gogo. It starts with Durban Gogo. Durban Gogo, me and Shishiliza wrapped up Boise's album one day, and he said, yo, Durban Gogo is going on the road. She's going to a party. Let's get on the bus with Durban Gogo.
Oh, yes.
And I said to Durban Gogo, yo, dog, I really like this piano thing. I like this wave. It sounds like something that I can do. It sounds like something I can flex on. It sounds like something I could turn up.
Sure.
But I don't know how to rap to it. Like, I literally sound like I'm saying, Skina na machite chozi, sfunuye bonikoli, smamelo mambochi. Like, it's like, I'm sounding cheesy. And I had this conversation with many people, Lady Do, Musa Keys, you know, and this is her right now taking me everywhere. And she said, all right, cool. Hop in the bus. Let's go. And I saw this culture. I saw something that I saw back in like 97.
You're in the belly of the beast.
Bro, I saw it again. That's the thing. You know, with hip hop, it was the breakdancing, whatever. With piano, it was also, you know, the vibes. And also with Kwaito, it was the toalata.
It's a whole lifestyle.
It was the culture again. I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing this again. There's a fashion to it. There's a lingo to it. There's the DJs are pushing it.
And now the social media.
And now there's social media. You understand?
Amplifies.
Now I can even skip the steps of, you know, asking these guys to play my song or asking these people to play my video. You understand? We can trend tomorrow and then we're out, you know? And the value of these platforms played so much of a role. Like going to
because radio was generally not fucking with Amapiano.
With Amapiano, you understand?
Play one or two commercial hits.
Yeah.
But generally they didn't give a fuck about.
And also, like, to be honest, the homies also didn't fuck with radio themselves. Like, if people look at the back of Amapiano, it's a very rebellious concept.
Yeah.
It's everything that is anti-establishment. You know, the music is not mixed and mastered because mixes and masters are too expensive.
Yeah.
They don't shoot videos, they shoot visualizers because music videos are too expensive.
Yeah.
They don't send it to radio. They'd rather trend on the internet and then everybody has it. And then
radio must scramble to get it.
And then radio gets it afterwards. So it's very establishment, you know, and being introduced to this thing was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
I just need to catch the rhythm, you know. And she then introduced me to a bunch of people and then it snowballed. But I always knew after meeting her that I need to get to Pori.
Yeah.
That was always the thing in the back of my head. I kept saying, even when I was with Musa Keys, when we met, and he told me, yo, I'm going to a session with Pori. I said, bro, please tell that man I'm coming. I want to come. I just want to know what he thinks of what I'm trying to do. So he was the guy that was taking me through it, you know, explaining why, you know, the bootleg websites played value or add value to the final material, you know, explaining those nuances.
Yeah, the value of the Fagaza. Because you can look at it as they're parroting our shit.
Exactly.
Or you can look at it as they're going to make sure 100,000 households have my song.
Exactly.
This week.
And because of those 100,000 households, now all the 100,000 iPhone users want to buy the song.
Exactly.
Officially. Exactly. You know, him taking me through the science of all of that. And now me understanding the value of what that guy or some of the decisions that he made are the reasons why we're actually killing it and coining it.
Yes.
You know, and ourselves outside of the major labels, you know. You know, the voice, you know, and also unpacking, you know, what's the energy of piano? You know, it's just, there's so many things to consider in that culture. And he really like gave me like a nice 1 week course. And I really, really appreciate that. You know, I really appreciate that because, you know, he's a lot of things to a lot of people, but to me, I always look at him as like the coach.
Yeah.
He really
he's your
is the
Yoda.
coach. You know?
Yeah. You're a Jedi Knight because he was there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and if it was a soccer team, Kabza would be our captain.
Ah, yes.
You know?
Yes.
But yeah, that guy is the one that put the Kanda Shisa in my head. Saying, yo, you gotta rock, you know? And we're the same age. And if you look at what he's achieved.
Who?
Pori.
Can I tell a story? At the time you were doing jingles for our breakfast show at YFM, Pori was in Pretoria shopping demos around. We did a broadcast in Sunnyside. I don't know if it's Sunny Park Mall, opposite the McDonald's. We did a broadcast there. I think it was with Rick Coffee.
Yeah, I remember Sunny Park there by Arcadia.
Pori came with a demo because Cleo was our show producer at the time. He gave Cleo his demo. I don't know what happened with the demo, but Pori came there, scrawny kid with a dream. I think he had a satchel on, and he gave a demo. So at the time you were hustling, he was hustling. And he kept the dream alive, and he is now the dream. Because we don't give up on our dreams. Guys, don't give up on that shit.
I don't.
Until you're dead, the dream stays alive. That's all.
And Pori is testament of don't stop learning.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the more I talk to him, is the more he always references Oskiro.
Yes.
He always references Tira. He always references the Black Motion movement. He always references the Uhuru movement, you know, Mafigizolo, and how Kalawa played a big role in him understanding who he needs to be, you know.
Like stepping into your own greatness.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and if you think about it, he's openly said that he learns a lot from Kabza. And Kabza was the guy who's like the new guy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So don't stop learning. You know, don't stop learning.
Because we're running out of time. Can we talk about the state of lyricism in hip hop and maybe even in Amapiano?
Damn, you're going to get me into trouble.
Because, you know, at some stage Amapiano was vibes.
Yeah.
But it's becoming more intentional now.
True.
You're hearing it even in the hooks. You're hearing it in the vocalists that have been brought in. You're hearing it in the raps even. You're hearing it. I mean, I think Amapiano has probably introduced us to more voices and names over the last 5 years than any other genre in this country has done in the last 20 years.
Right.
It's wild. It's insane.
It is insane. The states of lyricism.
Yeah.
I can't speak about the states of lyricism, but the one thing that I might want to shine a light on is the poetry.
Yes.
You know, I think Africans are very poetic people. You know, we are just generally, and for us to get to rap, it was just applying rhythm to that.
Yes, it is.
You know, but
How do I write?
you understand? And even what Hashirim Klope was saying, like, if you go and listen to those things, there's a lot of metaphor and a lot of poetry in those things. So somehow piano has become so saturated with how we started with Harinyo Baning Rebana Bamut. Like, we started there. And we did that.
But Kwaito started.
And Kwaito started there too.
At some stage when
My brother, I'm with you.
Oh, you know what I mean? That's where it's from.
And we ended up...
Tebe was that guy. Tebe was that guy.
Tebe was that man.
You know the YFM catchphrase, Yona Kiona?
Yo,
I came up with that.
Hectic.
I came up with that, but I did it as a joke, a reference to Tebe's Kuku Kuku. And then I said, why can't we just say YFM Yona Kiona? And the ad agency ran with it. I'm still waiting for my 5%, motherfuckers.
So hectic. Yo, this is payback. It's reparations.
Want our money.
Well, I mean, Teba's gonna call you and say, "Hey, my brother,
where's my
money? Where's my 2%?" But it's crazy, right? From there to Hlonipi Life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And from Hari Jane to
Imitandazo.
To Imitandazo, you know, Singabantwana Bakho, like, you know, after some time, you know, we start having to say about some things. And that's another thing that people forget about hip-hop. Yeah. Hip-hop started out as like a party thing. You know, the MCs were a hippie, to be happy. It didn't start with the lyricism. Yes. It didn't start with the deep stuff. It actually just started out as a vibe. Like, you know.
Yeah, like it was quarter to vibes.
Yeah, street bash. Yeah. So, musically, everywhere you go, with every genre, like, the vibe has taken over. The vibe is everything, you know. I was watching Russ actually making the point of saying, yo, the words don't matter so much as the vibe and how everything else is said in the music. You know, if you're listening to what the Quellas are doing, if you listen to what Kane Keed and all these boys, what they're doing, like Kindly Nash, like, the way they're sliding is really like the way, you know, the vibe and the energy that people are gravitating towards, and the rhythm and the beat. It's almost as if, now here's the plot twist, it's almost as if hip-hop became just about vibes, and Amapiano became the poetic one about the message. You know, that's one thing I can tell from looking around. Is
in fact,
it's so twisted.
MT once said Kane Keed raps too much. And that people don't want metaphors anymore.
That's actually a good point.
Like, you rap too much.
Like, you rap too much. You trying to eat. You need to slow down. yeah, that's where we are.
What's your take on that, though? Like, is that a good or bad thing, or it doesn't matter? That's part of the cycle.
I don't know, man. Look, obviously, because of the school that I come from, you know, I'll always appreciate a good writer, you know. But also, coming from the school that I'm in, you know, I was running the race with Double HP and Tear Gas and Kulichana, and AKA, you know, and those were people who had the perfect balance of vibe and lyricism.
Yes.
You know, and
that's what's kept the music evergreen.
Yes.
That's why for 20 more years we're still here.
Yeah. I mean, I Want It All will always sound beautiful. It will always sound fun. It'll always sound jiggy. It'll always sound cool. You know what I mean? And it'll always be motivational, because what those guys were saying there was really like, yo, I actually do want it all, man. You know? But that was, and I think maybe that's why a lot of people like crying about that era, because we had just got it right, man. We had literally just got it right from what Double HP was doing by taking hip hop and putting it on Kwaito and becoming a hip hop bandzula, just to become the most South African version of what hip hop we have, you know, down to where, you know, MT and Nasty C have even taken, you know, the music. There was once a time where the vibe and the lyricism was just equal, you know.
Sweet spot.
Yeah, you know. And now, literally, like, yo, just stop rapping, bro. You don't rap too much. Even I have to look at myself as reason, like, hey, bro, slow down.
Yeah.
Let's do the Sizwe thing.
I'll tell Sanya.
I'll tell Sanya. Water Kenya. Water Kenya.
But you said I want to get you into trouble talking lyricism, so I want to get you into trouble.
Yes.
We're going to the Cypher Games 2025. You are the coach. We need 5 fighters. Who represents Team SA at the Cypher Games?
Oof. Okay, so Joburg is so crazy. Like, there's another group of the city, like where Ili Amin and Tony Dangler and all these Brahm guys are really like ciphering and they freestyle off the top of their dome. And then there's another era of good writers, but they write incredible freestyles. So this is going to be tough. But I think definitely for me, the greatest battle rap to ever walk and just be in my presence and I witness it will always be Proverb.
Yes.
No matter what happens.
Yes, sir.
I think on any given day, Verb would always be.
Both me and you.
Yeah. Verb would never skip the cut. That's probably the only battle I'll turn down.
We'd sit in studio with Verb and throw words at him, and he'd turn those into bars. Like, how did you think of that?
And a punchline in the mix.
Punchline in there.
And rhyme and make it make sense. Like, yo, that guy is incredible. So,
and then he stopped.
Then he said, fuck this shit. No,
he said, go to school. It's good for your career. He stopped the career.
We still love Verb, though.
Yeah, we love you, Verb.
I really like Nasty. You know, I'm a big fan of Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty C. Ili Amin, definitely. There's a kid called Cerebro. Very, very dangerous MC. He is Cerebro. I put Cerebro, Fahrenheit. These are underground battle rappers, right?
Yeah.
But I think my lucky draw. I don't think.
Can we have a girl on the lineup?
Well, Gigi, for real.
I
was gonna say, like, yo, I got me my face. I know what's in Cholana.
No, but this should be your plus one anyway, so she's there.
She's there anyway. But that girl really rap. Yeah. You know, she really rap. There's a lot of material that we've actually done together that we've been working on. And, you know, generally my mission is to always try and push her a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, just push the envelope a little bit. You know, like I said, she's competitive. So she always does better when she's got a mark to surpass.
Like, is that like your pillow talk after sex? Let's rap, baby. Yeah.
I tell you, the other day she's like, "Oh my God, I just had a threesome with Sizwe and Reason." I said, "I'm using that." I said, "I'm using that shit in my rhymes."
Caesar was rapping a bit. No, like also the Reason rapped a bit too much, but it's fine.
But it's cool. Definitely Gigi. She's dope. Multi-talented. Come from
I see it, dog.
Yeah.
You can tell when a guy is like gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
I'm fucked. Yeah.
No, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
When you're gone. It's the best.
Yeah.
Nothing can like.
I'm sorry, guys.
Nothing can dim it.
Yeah. But I'm a fan, you know. Other than that, Joe, how many people did I mention?
What, 4?
About 4, no?
Yeah.
There's one more.
Give us some
Yeah,
more.
I definitely got to have Stogie on the lineup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Stogie is...
Yeah.
But there's a battle Stogie trended for in the US where he didn't do too well. Can we talk about that?
He did. Yes, there was a battle that he didn't do too well at. You know what the thing about battles is, man, you can be the greatest fighter in the world. You can be Mike Tyson.
But on the day.
You know, and then on the day, you're just not the Mike Tyson you need to be. You know, the environment, the space, the amount of time you had to prepare. And the thing about battles is with the way they're shaped right now is you it's like 3 rounds of about 48 bars to about 52 bars. You know, that's like 3 songs, 2 songs.
Yeah.
You know,
From here.
From here. You know, and you have to string them along the way you line them up because you know, your first round maybe is where you're serious. The second round is where you're clowning. And then the last round is where you're just going in hard, depending on your strategy or whatever, you know. So a lot of things, like there could be that one punch. That guy could say that one thing that'll throw you off.
Yeah.
And that's it,
And
you
then
know.
you're done.
And actually, that's why I start battling, man. Like, that one battle will make you sound like the worst rapper ever. Like yo, when Kato lost that day, it was like, no. Like,
In the
yo,
scheme of things, Kato is talented.
he's too dope. Kato was a monster. Kato is a monster. Like, even Proverb lost a battle against Pro Kid. Like, and the live Randista show, like, but it is like, no, this guy is too dope. Like, have you heard the things that he writes? Like, this guy wrote a dream. Yes. Like, that we're living nowadays, you know? So it's like, when I look at him, I'm like, when I looked at the battle scene, I was like, yo, like, I really need to stop this thing, because this thing at some point will convince me that I'm not as good as I am. Yeah, you know, I don't know how boxers do it, bro. Like, yo, I respect Pretty Ugly for coming back after the fight, bro. Like, you know, like, taking a knock. Could make me feel like lesser of a person. You know, taking a knock publicly could make me feel like less of a person. But to get back up and know yourself and go back in there is, I chickened out. I said, this is enough, you know. And also I could see, I only lost one battle to Sol Penduga even. I lost one battle.
How old were you at the time?
We were in high school.
Oh, in high school?
Yeah, we were still in high school. Like, I must have been like 16.
Yeah, I remember Sol Penduka's rap book.
Yeah.
He had a book of rhymes that I actually autographed his book of rhymes when in high school. Went to his high school in the East Rand.
Yeah, Donview.
Myself and Tato, we went to high school.
Wild.
And it was like, we used to go to school, like do school visits.
Tours, yeah.
Kids would lose their minds, were signing autographs. There were no camera phones at the time, so we're not doing pictures. It was literally autographs. So I signed Sol's lyric book.
Dog, so you actually know us from when we were kids. Like, from when we were like these. Like,
kids, yeah. But to see you guys flying the way you are, and the fact that you stayed the course in terms of your dreams, it's wild.
Yo, shout out.
Because there are very few stories that say to you, it is possible. Because I was there when they started, and I'm watching them now. Not many people get that front row seat. I've had front row seat to so many careers that I often say to the good Lord, mara wa ung bless us all. You know what I mean? Because I watch you guys and I just smile. I smile like fuck.
Yo,
Bafana back.
And I'm like a little, like I'm a small portion
Fuck
of that
that
thing,
shit,
bro.
dog. Big portion, as big as all the other portions.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shout out. Big.
Before we let you go,
Yes, sir.
obviously we can't let you go before we speak about Piano Pulse. Before you went in,
All right, let's get it. What do we need to do?
before you went in, did anything say to you maybe it's a bad idea?
No.
Or were you adamant that Banyela?
No.
Yeah.
You know what my thing about it is? The nerve.
Yeah.
You know, it's for me, it spoke to me. First of all, I think what drives me to that is actually being in the house with my person,
Yes.
having to sit there and think to myself, damn, like these guys said this thing about me publicly.
Yeah.
You know, like that thing really hurt her. Like that thing was quite like, yo, can't believe someone can just openly come out and just and decide to value me like that and just scale me and put me on a scale and
Like
and
you're
leave it
a meat market.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? And I think and the weird thing is the producer, because I have a close relationship with her, she had actually given me the heads up after it happened, right? And so when she told me, she said, yo, how do you feel about this? I said, yo, they need to cut that out. So if you really care about this relationship and you care about it, you know, our situation, like, yo, you need to cut that out, because also that has nothing to do
With anything.
You understand? Fine. And then I mized it. Then I think the episode goes on and my manager sent me the section where it happened. So I sent it back to the producer. I said, yo,
What is this?
I thought we spoke. And she said, damn. Then it became I don't know what happened. I'll get back to you. Let me go find out. Then it became this conversation around, yo, we told them to cut it out and they didn't cut it out. Then I was stuck with, okay, but why was it said? You know, what is that about? You know? And the funny thing is I'd known Swisso before, you know, and I thought we were cool. I thought we were, on some level of respect that you wouldn't even talk about my Mary.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that you're going to compare her to my ex, but like, don't even mention.
So I'm having a Zambak moment. Yes. Lips are dry.
Right? So, but the thing that really, really drove me into that room was how much it hurt her.
Yes.
And in my head, I was like, yo, if there's anybody who's going to feel pain at the end of this, it can't be me or my girl,
What stopped you from throwing hands?
Dudu. The producer.
Yes.
The producer said, so she had said, yo, she had said, yo, you're more than welcome to come onto the show and have a conversation with the show. Like, the guys are sorry about what happened. But I think when she said the guys, she was talking about the team, the editors, like those guys there behind these cameras. But I don't think she had the conversation with the main guy, because his reaction to me being there and him being lost in the moment really threw me off. But when it came to that, her chat was, you can come. Then I said, fuck that, I'm not going to go. Then 2 weeks go by, I realized this thing has actually devastated my hand. I say, actually,
fuck that, I'm going.
Actually, I'll come to your show on one condition. Just don't tell them I'm coming. That was really my idea, was just don't tell them I'm coming. She said, fine, I'll give you the location and I won't tell them you're coming on one condition. You don't throw hands.
Ah, okay.
I said, I'd bet.
Did I do that?
Funny thing is, legal is also like, yeah, please.
Yeah.
You need to deal with this,
Sure.
And if I need to elaborate, the Dumbo threw me off. Dumbo on the right threw me off, because I was there to address the adult in the room. I was there to address the older person, So I don't know why this kid felt the need to defend it, but the rant took a left, because my conversation was literally just going to address the one person, to say, bro, this can't be what you're here to teach kids. This can't be your conversation at your age, and I've seen a couple of episodes that they've had on the show. They've addressed weird conversations that they pretend to care about, like colorism and, and stupid topics. And I was like, yo, a lot of the stuff that you guys talk about, and you had very creative answers, play into exactly what you were doing here. You don't value women so much that you want to sit here and talk about, oh, which one is better according to you, or which one is, you understand? Like, and in my head, that was the conversation I was going to have. So I wasn't prepared to have somebody on my right try and defend it. So I want to lie, like, Big Ears is the one that nearly made me go over it. He made me really, he drove me into a monologue that got me very upset, but the idea was to actually keep it a teachable moment. It was really to have a conversation around, like, yo, I have a light-skinned and a dark-skinned daughter, who are going to live their lives in equilibrium in the same rooms most of the time. And a lot of these conversations, they touch me because it's something that me and their mother have had to talk about, based on our awareness of colorism.
Absolutely.
And how society has a certain perception towards darker skinned girls than lighter skinned girls. A certain perception towards a certain type of hand versus another type of hand, So I'm already sensitive in just a sheer comparison, Mind you, it's very deep for me, because I'm raised by a light-skinned mother. My siblings are all light-skinned. I'm the only dark-skinned in my family. It's not to get too deep, but I had a mission in a conversation. I genuinely was there to have a conversation. I genuinely was there to address it, like, in a very decent, I guess,
let's be adults about it.
Let's be adults about it. You guys made a mistake. Let me correct this mistake. We can't sit here in front of kids and in front of young people and have this type of conversation.
Yes, sir.
We're perpetuating other conversations out there that are really not healthy, especially for the girl child, considering what the girl child is going through.
Sure.
You can't just decide, just because this girl is on radio, she's better than this girl because she's not. It doesn't make sense, And I actually felt sorry for the girl they were sitting with, because I felt like, more often than not, they didn't realize that their comments were actually being sideways towards her, or even for her to not even realize. But whatever type of criticism that Gigi gets, it actually falls on your lap. You are not like the other hand. You're more like the one that is actually being dogged.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it was a very teachable moment for everything. But what really made me lose my cool was the defense.
Teachable moment. What did you learn the most from that moment? That sometimes just throw the hands.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. To be honest with you, what I learned from it is that actually, I think people are tired of stupid conversations. People were actually tired of bullshit.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Brati. Like, what we're doing here, what we're having conversations
to that though. I think, and I think that's why a lot of people go for those cheap thrills. That's why a lot of people go for the intentional shock value. The intentional, how am I going to shock them today?
Yeah, and more than anything, is it really what people want, or are people just watching because they can't believe you said that? You know, there's a difference between me watching something because I know, something crazy is going to happen. But there's also that, because I feel like I also did the rounds and going viral because people were like, I can't believe that guy did that.
Yes.
You know, it was not like I was trending because of a nice conversation I was having, like, no. Like, I was bumping into Uber drivers like, yo,
is that you?
You're this guy. Yo, you told that guy shit. That was dope. Well done. I would have done the same. Maybe punched him as well, but I would have done the same. Like, you know, then you've got other guys who come through and yo, bro, I appreciate what you did. I could have never done what you did. You know, it gets deeper for other gents. Other gents are like, yo, my wife gets criticized in the family.
Yes.
Where auntie or mother or whatever, and then I can't defend her there.
Exactly.
And now that you've done that, I've found more courage to now go and fight, because actually at the end of the day, this is my person. You understand? So then you start to realize, like, people are actually also stuck in this world of bullshit, and they also don't know what they really are fucking with.
Dude, not only are women under siege from violence, GBV, and unfriendly corporate structures, even just at home, you want to be heard and seen.
Home.
You know what I mean? Even at home. That's how much siege women are under. They're policed about what you wear. Did you mourn hard enough? When your husband died, why were you not crying? Why were you laughing 5 years after your...
Why did you move on so quickly?
This is 10 years later. You moved on after 10 years. You're a hoe. So women are under siege, and it's wild. And the fact that we're raising girls in this kind of environment, it's nothing we should sniff at.
Right.
It's nothing we should sniff at.
Right.
And if it means you must take a stand in someone's honor, you do that.
Yeah.
And you must be unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
You know?
And yo, turn your lemons to lemonade.
Yeah.
Turn your lemons to lemonade for me is like, yo, it's just the only way to survive right now. It's really the only way we should all be living.
We're out of time.
Yes.
2 questions.
Yes.
What is it about her?
She's funny.
Yeah.
She's cool. She's different. She's smart. She's educated. She's driven. She's loving. She's warm. Her worst version of herself is the best I've seen and experienced out of a woman. It's like, I've seen worse. I've experienced worse out there, you know. And if you're saying this is your worst, like, I can work with that, you know. And her best is just so much better, you know.
And she can rap. It helps.
I don't want to dwell on that. I mean, like, yo, I also was sitting there saying, yo, never in my life did I think I'd be dating a rapper. Like, it's like, dating, is this what it's like to date rappers? Yeah. God damn. Yeah. You know, but she cool, man. She's fun. And she teaches me a lot.
Yeah.
She teaches me a lot. Believe it or not, she teaches me a lot. She carries a lot of things that very powerful, strong personality. Knows how to control a room. Sure. You know, as a little tiny person in the corner that
commands respect.
You know, graceful.
Sure.
And she's just, she's fucking dope.
Remember, said you're gone.
I am. And very, you know what? Another thing that I do need to give her kudos for, she's always the one pushing me to be a good father.
Ah, yes.
She's the one person who's in my ear who's like, yo, I didn't really, don't put your kids through some of the things that we went through, you know?
Dude,
So she's always...
say no more. Say no more.
She's always pushing.
When you find someone that understands that you have other children
Yeah.
and wants you to be the best father that you can be to kids that are not hers, now for me, that's the biggest green flag you'll ever get.
Yeah.
Because that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts. The rest we can build on.
For real.
If the relationship fails, it still fails, it's fine.
For
But
real.
as long as you understand I've got kids
Yeah.
and you respect the fact that I've got kids.
Doesn't want to get involved,
And-
doesn't want to interfere, doesn't want to be the mother, but says, go be the father.
Me, what I was told when we met was my daughter was 6. She asked me to introduce them, and then I left them, and they had a conversation about the fact that there is a daughter here who's now going to have 2 mothers. It's in everyone's interest that we all get along. We have no reason not to get along, but always think about what's in the best interest of this child.
That is so dope.
So she managed the entire relationship from the get-go.
That is dope.
So if you can find someone like that, you're on the right track.
Yeah,
Because there's nothing worse than starting to feel guilty about spending time with your own children, or about missing your children, or wanting your children to come over to the house. You must never ever feel like that. If you feel like that, enough for me, it's a non-starter. We can't go anywhere. If you don't understand that I must spend time with my kids.
Rather have someone making you feel bad to say, yo,
Yeah.
we need to leave now. You've got soccer in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you fear, my dude?
Failure,
Yeah.
especially to my kids.
Yeah.
Failing my kids. So that comes down to what? The fear of being broke.
Yeah.
The fear of being
Not be able
useless.
to provide.
The fear of not existing. The fear of having no purpose. The fear of not winning. Just the fear of bringing shame to my name and to my clan. Like those are my biggest fears. Like I'm okay with taking L's.
Yes.
L's are normal.
Yes.
You know, those are lessons. That's fine. But I don't want to be a loser.
Yes.
You know, like I'm happy to take L's, but I'm not a loser.
If ever, God forbid, the chips are down and the money is dried up or whatever, give your kids time. They'll get it. They'll understand. They'll appreciate it. Because often as fathers, we think because I don't have money, I can't show up for my kids. If you don't have money, you don't have money. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't create money out of leaves. But make an effort and spend time with your kids. If it means fighting to spend time with your kids, fight to spend time with your kids. It's not always money. Kids want time. Kids will value the time more than the money in the longer run. So as much as we fear not being able to provide for our kids, we must not think because I can't provide for my kids, I can't be a good father.
Can't be there.
Absolutely. Talk about your show quickly before we let you go.
This show celebrates your work of allowing a nice little young boy walk into your studio, come rap. This is literally celebrating the last 22 years. I officially call it 21
Yes.
because that's when I dropped my official first song and we played it live on radio.
Yes.
21 years ago.
Broke on my radio show.
Broke. Yo, headbanger hip hop music on radio is crazy.
Yeah.
Just 21 years in the game. As Sizwe Alakine, it's a boxing match. It's a battle. 3 rounds each. Each round, the classics, the bangers, the greatest hits.
Yeah.
15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes.
So basically,
Head to head.
as a drunk uncle would say, so you're going to fight yourself.
I'm good. I know, right? Let me tell you how I came up with this idea.
Yeah.
There was a time when Casper and Keenan were going at it.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
And then they said, yo, let's actually forget this. Let's go fight.
Yes.
And I remember thinking to myself, why don't you guys fight with catalogs?
I even proposed it on my radio show when I was doing breakfast at 5FM, that why can't you have a battle in a stadium, 2 stages, the crowd turns around to check out each performance. I suggested that to them already all those years back.
But, you know, they fight about everything. They were probably going to fight about who gets paid what.
They could have split the purse. Easiest money they could have made.
And now imagine if they had like the betting system at that time.
Sure.
You know, and you had the fans. Because what was crazy for me is I kept saying to people, it doesn't matter what anybody says. Like, people love Doc Chevrolet as much as they love Composure.
Yes.
You know, so those fans would have gotten like the ultimate show of all shows where you got the 2 giants coming together in the name of a battle, but in the name of actually celebrating.
Yes.
And what people missed about that chat was both sides. Like if you had Cass on the one side, Cass brought you Gemini, Anati, Ricky Rick, Major League, Nadia Nakai, Tseko. You know, Keenan came with Reason, Kulichana, KO, Nomuzi. You know, and that was like two sides. That was a show, bro. That's hip hop. Yeah. You know, even the DJs that sit on both sides, that's a big show, you know. So I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to come with Reason and have Cooley there and have, you know, Black Les there and have Ginger Trill and have El Tito and have everybody show up to represent the Reason side. And then on the other side, we have Maphorisa and we have, you know, Robot Boy, and we have, because that to me is like hip hop and piano in one room, you know. And that's really the vision of this show.
What's the date?
27th of September.
27th September. Are tickets available?
Tickets are available. $250 for the pre-sold.
Yes. How are you feeling about the show?
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Yeah, nervous.
Who do you think Gigi's going to be? On whose side do you think Gigi will be at this battle?
She says Reason all the time.
Yeah.
She says Reason all the time.
But she loves the money Sizwe's bringing home.
See, this is the bill.
Like, hey, Reason, why don't you work as hard as this guy?
I swear to you, my girl is having it good, eh? She's like, I'm cheating on this guy with this guy. This one is...
Sometimes I bring both of them home.
Just to spice up the mood.
We're out of time, man.
Actually, let me ask you. Yes. Reason or Sizwe?
It'll always be Reason because I love what he did for the game. But I love the carefreeness of Sizwe.
Yeah.
I think Sizwe's having more fun.
Yeah.
I think Sizwe is not overthinking it the way Reason would. I also feel like I'm talking about the same person. Like, are two people? What am I doing?
How did I fall into this trap?
But
oh yeah,
having said that,
yes sir,
I'm proud of you.
Yes sir.
We saw your talent when you were 15, 16.
Yeah.
And every talent we've spotted on this journey, we were never wrong about.
Yes sir.
Never bet on a losing horse, ever.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see you doing what you love, my dude. I'm happy to see you loving love. I'm happy to see you doing the best you can to be a better parent. Because until you die, you can always be a better parent.
That's game.
So shout out to you, my dude.
That's game.
I love you. I respect you. And we'll continue talking about you in rooms you're not in. I'll continue reminding people about who the fuck you are.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to you, bro.
Thank you, my G.
Now, can you turn the letter you wrote me into a song, please? Thank you.
I wrote so many jingles about you, bro. I'm sure we can string something along.
Now we're releasing.
My big brother was big. All right, I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up. I got you.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Shout outs.
Make some noise for my two friends. Reason the Mass and Sizwe Alakine. Bafana baka Gigi. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know it's almost 2 hours, but we actually wanted to make it 3 hours, but the white people, they are shouting at us, so we have to leave. Coming to you from Discover TV in 4 ways. We are part of the Africa Podcast Network. Email us at waw@africapodcastnetwork.com. Shout out Trevor and his crew for all of the cinematography. When you guys get married, Trevor's shooting your wedding. He'll turn it into a movie.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's your guy at the wedding.
Yeah, we need a serious wedding special.
Absolutely. Do you guys have a couple name? You know,
couple name
like Ben Affleck and Jennifer were Benifa.
I don't lie. Ours is a bit weird. It's like CG.
Yeah, CG is fine, though.
CG.
Yeah,
sounds like Fiji.
CG is fine.
CG, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so we'll go with the.
Hey, but now we end up in America. They say CG.
But that's also fine. What's the problem?
I'm Sizwe Alakine.
Chase a boy.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can tell that he left his nuts in her bag at home.
I threw that one at you, didn't I?
That's why you're walking funny. Now we know.
CG it is. Stick to CG.
When she said, I'm sending you to a podcast, she meant I'm taking the senders here and you are going.
I'm sending you. I'm sending you.
Oh, fuck. Shout out to Lati for additional production on the show. YBF, all of the behind the scenes. And Keletso Modisa-Keng, who is our executive producer. Most importantly, shout out to you for being a part of this. Tell everybody about it. Reason and Sizwe were in the building. Till next week, have a great week in spite of yourselves.